They think that I'm chasing the money. I think that it's funny how it is so pressed but wrong. The glory, the passion, the drive. Family and friends and God. In a sea full of drakes, man, I'm beautiful and wonderfully made. I'm slushing your clan like Jack. No, I ain't changed up the past. Past division, kill religion. Lord is willing. We ain't gon' change the lives of millions. Cause I'ma be great. Cause my God is great. I'ma be great. Cause my God is great. Put it on the line. Say cheese on my plate. If I walk it alone, this is my fate. I'ma be great.
That's what God says about you. It's not what you say about yourself, but what God has said about you. Amen. He showed up to Gideon and said, "Thou mighty man of valor," and many of you know the story of Gideon. He was a coward.
Oh,
But
man.
God sees something in you that you can't see.
That's funny, DJ.
God calls out that which is in you that He planted within you.
Oh, my gosh.
He says, "You are a faithful servant. I've called you." Stop
That was really good.
God has chosen. Amen.
Before we could even start the stream, man. Before we could even start the stream, my man DJ says, "Early stream. Who are you?" Girl, I'm gonna treat you like milk. I'm gonna spoil you. Shout out to my man Wrestling God Streams in before the stream starts too. Oh man, you guys are hilarious, man. What's up, selectors? Select Screen here. Shout out to DJ Crystal Clear and Wrestling God Streams. Man, you guys were cracking me up in the comments before the stream. So much so that I choked on my sweet tea. So this stream is sponsored by Sweet Tea. Because sweet tea is good. Put some sugar in your tea. All right, there we go. Today we are getting into Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This is our spoiler review, so be ready for that. There will be lots of spoilers. This is my last spoiler warning. If you want to see our spoiler-free review, definitely check it out. Look, it popped up right there over on our YouTube. We're on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and the Cash App. Normally, we're on Twitch on Fridays now. But just to show some solidarity with everyone saying, hey, let's take a day off of Twitch. Since I didn't stream on that day, I'm just moving my stream here. So I've been a part of seeing people have hate speech happen on stream, and it really sucks, guys. It really sucks. So be kind to one another. That's why we always say that. DJ said, I can't have sweet tea. Fair enough. But yeah, be kind to one another on these streams, man. You know, it's not easy doing this for anybody, you know, but we specifically do it, myself and Elmo 172331, because we care about the people who join the stream, and we want to see you have fun. We want to vibe out and rock with you guys. So that's why we do what we do. We want to give you a clean stream where you can come in here and feel like you're not being attacked. So that's why we do what we do. That being said, we were supposed to be reviewing Purple Rain today, and I could not find that movie anywhere. And so I couldn't watch it beforehand. So the plan is to watch it sometime early next week and then have the review in hopefully next week, because of course Shang-Chi came out and I had to wait till payday. So with that being said, you guys can always support the stream at linktr.ee/select screen. If you want to give monthly, you can do that now through Streamlabs. The Cash App, like we've always mentioned, you can leave a tip, and we now have merch. You can get a Select Screen t-shirt. So that is on the stream, and that helps. That goes right back into the stream so we can rent movies and do all these reviews and stuff like that. So, yeah, that should be really good. I want to talk to Wrestling because I know he's been having a hard time over the week, just seeing some of his comments. So we're going to jump into that in just a moment. But again, guys, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the stream as well. All right, that'll be really, really dope. Helps the channel out. DJ said you can review my movie list today. That's right. His stuff is on Netflix, so that's always very helpful as well. But I mean, you can't control that, right? Anyway, I'm ready. You're ready. Let's get into the Shang-Chi spoiler review. Hopefully RL gets in here at some point in time, and we'll talk about this movie. I'm ready. You're ready. Let's go. So here's the deal, guys. I got this new, we got this new second monitor, and it's a TV, and it keeps stealing the audio. I don't know why it keeps stealing the audio from the stream. So sorry about that. I know there was no music underneath the intro, but you know how it goes. Let's do a little EDM today. How about a little EDM underneath everything, huh? That ought to be fun. Something a little different. All right, so first of all, wrestling's had a hard time. Lost a friend, Marcus. Man, shout out to wrestling. I hope things get better, but friends come and go. They really do. I just to give you a relatable place, I have a friend who was actually the best man at my wedding. Still love that guy to this day. But I got no info on his wedding, and his wedding was just this past weekend. So stuff like that can hurt. I get it. And when someone, especially when someone uses ammo against you, like what happened with wrestling, that can hurt really bad. But hang in there, man. Hang in there. Like I said, even my friend who I've known since like kindergarten, still care about him and all that. It can be painful though, and I'm sure I've probably hurt a lot of my friends at some point in time too. You know what I mean? So you're not a downer. We all go through stuff, as I think DJ can even relate to. You know what I mean? Like, we all go through things. Give me my camera real quick. We're being real sincere here right now. Just keep your head up, man, and keep moving forward. College is going to be awesome for you, and new things are on the horizon for you for sure. All right. Always want to keep it positive on stream for you guys. So let's get into talking about Shang-Chi, or Shang-Chi, if I'm saying, in my Asian community, please correct me. I want to make sure that I'm saying his name correctly. They call him Sean in the movie, and we're going to be talking about about why this movie is just, I don't care if you don't like Marvel or not, you need to go see this movie. Let me see if I can't pull up let me pull something up here real quick. Let's throw this up here. There we go. So here's the deal. Let me look at comments. Resting on a good note, I booked a vacation back to Butlins with my mom and my nana, and Charlie's coming. That's what's up. See, you still got Charlie. Charlie's still rocking with you. That's what's up. DJ says Dwayne Johnson got a new movie trailer on IG. Yeah, that looks interesting. Doesn't have Ryan Reynolds in it too? And I saw somebody else when I saw that before the Shang-Chi trailer. It looked okay. I'm really looking forward to James Bond. I'm also going on vacation this weekend to wrestling, so that's why you're not getting the Purple Rain a little bit sooner. But that's cool. Let me know how that goes with Charlie. All right, so Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This movie, guys, like I said, whether you like Marvel or not, you need to go see this movie. If you're not ready to go to theaters, no judgment here. Feel free, I believe in 45 days, to answer RL's question from yesterday. 45 days from now, It'll be on Disney Plus, and let me tell you, it's going to be worth it to subscribe to Disney Plus for this movie, because this movie, I gave it in my spoiler review an A+. Why? This movie does something that I don't think any other Marvel movie has done yet. It made a movie that's not a Marvel movie into a Marvel movie. Does that make sense? This is a kung fu movie, is what this movie is. It's a kung fu movie, and it happens to be a Marvel movie as well. Let me start with the negatives. If there's a little bit, if I had any kind of negative about it, is it doesn't do a whole lot of world building. And I know a lot of people, they get tired of like, oh man, this is just an advertisement for the next Avengers movie. It does that, but it's not like super in your face. It does not go deep into some of the side characters. So don't go into the movie thinking that you're going to know everything about every character that shows up on screen. It does not do that. Those are some of the negatives. If I could think of any other negative, is that you don't get everything answered. But that's what a good first movie does to me. I think that's what kind of makes me want to see more. And that's what this movie does. Now, let's go on to the positive, because there's a ton of them. Let me get into the comments as well. Wrestling says, not till next year. I didn't even know my mom and Charlie surprised me. I cried so much I was happy. That's what's up, man. DJ said, tonight get out my Under Siege review if you can. Man, I wish I could. I have to. Here's the other thing. Before I go on vacation, I normally don't work on Fridays. I got called into work. So that's another reason why we're streaming early is I gotta work today. So I gotta go pick up Jumpin' Jubilee, and then I gotta go to work like right after. Matter of fact, I'm taking the kids with me. And then DJ said, check out your DM. Yeah, I did see your other DM on the Chopped and Screwed stuff, bro. All right, so let's talk about the positives. Let's talk about the good things about Shang-Chi. And let me say this. I'm going to spend the majority of the review here because this movie is awesome. It is awesome. From the way that he gets his costume, what his costume's made out of, to let me start with my 2 points from the spoiler-free review. Ready? Check this out. Why I say this movie is a regular movie turned into a Marvel movie is the action sequences and the amount of action sequences in this movie are absolutely bananas. Shout out to Elmo 172331. It's absolutely bananas, man. There are so many, not just fight scenes, but there's so many good fight scenes. That's what's crazy about the movie. There are so many good fight scenes. And if you thought that you saw all the fight scenes in the trailer, you have not. You have not. There are so many fight scenes, and it's so believable. I don't know if they did stunt actors or CG, but there's several moments in this movie where I was just like, yo. There are moments in this movie where you really feel like the characters are in danger. And this is the spoiler. Again, last spoiler warning. But you've seen in the trailer where they're fighting on the scaffolding, if I'm saying that right. And his friend, I think her name is Katie, she falls off this thing, and I was like, bro, I can't believe they just killed this girl. You know what I mean? Like, she's the comedy relief. It was just so enticing for me. I was just like, yo, this is really, really good. Number 2 that I said in my spoiler-free review is Wenwu, a.k.a. the Mandarin. The Mandarin is not, it's not what you think he is. And that's the cool thing about this movie, is they really redefined what Shang-Chi, who the Mandarin is, all of it. It made sense because we know the Mandarin is a huge Iron Man villain, right? Obviously Iron Man's dead. So are they going to tie them together? They do. And again, spoilers. They do in such a cool way. So how do they do that? They bring Trevor Slattery back. And he is part of this just mystical. The movie goes way more into the mystical than I thought it was going to go. I thought this was going to be a realistic Marvel Kung Fu movie, but it leans into dragons and dragon scales. I mean, it goes there. It went as far as it needed to go to make it a superhero movie, because Shang-Chi in himself does not have superpowers. Let's talk about the 10 rings. The rings in themselves are not mystical in the way that they are in the comic books. Don't go into the movie expecting that. What they are basically, think of them as springs, right? Each one of the rings is like a spring. So you can propel yourself off the ground. You can like super punch people. It's not like each one of them has a lost soul in it and all that stuff. That's probably the least mystical thing in this movie. They probably could have just called this movie Shang-Chi and just had the 10 rings in it. But the legend of the 10 rings really refers more to the group and his sister. Shang-Chi's sister is in this. She at times could be a little one-dimensional, but you kind of understand why she is the way she is. But I gotta go back to Wenwu. And the Mandarin. They just, even the name the Mandarin is given context. His motivations on why he's trying to not even conquer the world, because this guy basically conquered everything he wanted to do. I mean, the 10 rings, it was all the way back in Iron Man, and no one really messed with him because he knew what he was doing. But the thing that really stopped him was love, and I really felt for this character as a villain. There's a point in the movie where you kind of feel like, man, I don't think the Mandarin is the bad guy of this movie, and in a way he's not. He's very misled, misjudged, and if you've ever been misled in your life, you can relate to him. And this is what Sony tried to do so hard with specifically Dr. Octopus. They tried to do it with Sandman in the Spider-Man movies, and it just didn't work. In this movie, Wenwu, you're like, bro, this dude really, he has the world, and all he really wants is his wife. Like, is he a bad guy? He's going to any length to try and retrieve his wife. I don't think he's a bad guy, but it's the lengths that he's willing to go. He's willing to almost sacrifice his son and his daughter to get that. So I really enjoyed that as well. More positives. The movie's funny. I wouldn't say it's Ant-Man funny, but it's got some nice ironic parts. The tie-ins, and we're going to go ahead and talk about that as well for spoilers. The tie-ins that this movie does do, if that's the right language, is they tie the rings to calling someone else. And a lot of people are jumping to, it's going to be Galactus. It's calling out to Galactus. I think it's calling out to one of the Eternals, or it's calling out to one of the large robots that we've seen before. So it'll be interesting to see how this kind of ties in that way. But we do get 2 cameos, and I want to talk about that next. We get Wong and we get Abomination in this movie, and they don't really go into depth on why Abomination is not really a villain. They're just kind of sparring or whatever, and that was cool. It was a cool moment. I wanted more, but they kind of just, hey, there's Abomination, there's Wong. Wong comes back at the end again, and we have kind of one of these digital Zoom meetings like we did in Endgame. And who do we have but Bruce Banner back as the Hulk? And he is Bruce Banner. He's still got his arm in the sling, but he's not Smart Hulk. And I think that's a great move by Marvel. Smart Hulk was just not it. He's just not it. And so hopefully we get Hulk. Banner looks a lot older. And so that's interesting. Then also with him is Captain Marvel. She again just disappoints. I gotta say that. And I don't think that's on this movie. That's why I'm not including it in my score. Captain Marvel, they've got a problem with Captain Marvel. Marvel really has a problem with Captain Marvel. Because Captain Marvel, every time she's on screen, she drags the scene down. And this scene almost got hampered if it wasn't for really good writing and Wong saving the scene, because again, here they are talking. They're getting they're trying to figure out what's inside of the rings that are calling out to somebody, right? Again, possibly Galactus, probably an eternal villain or something like that. And then right in the middle of it, she's like, oh, sorry, gotta go. And she leaves, and she's like, call me. And Hulk's like, I don't even have her phone number. She does this all the time. And she does. That's her characteristic, is like, she's there for a minute and she's like, oh, sorry, I gotta go. I got something more important than what's going on right now. And it's annoying for me. I'm at the point where I'm just like, I'm over and done with this character. I'm going to see the Marvels, mainly because I'm hoping Miss Marvel and Photon are amazing. But as far as Captain Marvel, I'm out on Captain Marvel. They have just really... She's not a hero to me. She just seems, even though she's going to help somebody else, she seems selfish. And I don't know why Brie Larson's playing her like that, but her character just seems like, I don't know. She seems selfish, and she's not very charismatic in the role. Not very charismatic in the role at all. When I saw her, I was like, uh-oh. And then, of course, she dipped on him. So there's that scene. And then the final scene, of course, is Shang-Chi believes that his sister is dismantling the 10 rings when, in fact, she is building it up. A lot of rumors were that this movie was going to be a tournament fighter. It is not. It is not. But the next movie very well could be. It could be in the realm of like a Mortal Kombat kind of thing, because she has this established, I hate to use it, but Shang Tsung kind of complex now, where she can host a tournament. And that's kind of what she was doing beforehand, but now it's on a greater scale. She has better resources. And then let's talk about the effects of the movie. The effects of the movie are just crazy. I mean, the movie goes... What's up, RL? The movie goes, like I said, super mystical. You know, it starts out pretty kung fu movie-ish. And then we hit a midpoint where it feels like hardcore Marvel movie. And then it goes into this, like... Fantastic Beasts, Power Ranger. I mean, where do I rank this in my MCU list? This is top 5. This movie is a top 5. I mean, and this is not in specific order, but I would put Guardians of the Galaxy there. I would put, and you guys know me, I put Civil War and Winter Soldier as one movie. There, I would put Black Panther in there. I would say Shang-Chi, and there was another one that was just an Endgame. Those are like my top 5. I would put this movie in there because, again, the fighting is just so good. There, and you know it's a good movie. Yeah, Winter Soldier, Civil War is one. Yep. The fighting is so good. I would describe the choreography in this movie as beautiful. There are moments of beauty, and it's not like punch and dodge. It's very much the flow of it just encapsulated like Hollywood martial arts and beyond. It just, you could tell that they weren't faking the funk. You know what I mean? They didn't just go and get, Joe Schmo to go do the martial arts here. They got real martial artists to teach these actors and train these actors. Where do I rank this comic book film that came out this year? I would say this is number 1. I would, let's see. Let's talk about which ones have come out. Shang-Chi, Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad, Black Widow. Am I forgetting any other one? And then the TV shows, right? Captain America and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, all those. I think it beats Suicide Squad. Now, it's a different movie than Suicide Squad, obviously, right? But it's almost like, it feels like this. Like, Marvel put out Black Widow, and it was like, okay, this is okay. Suicide Squad and DC were like, hey, look at us. Boom, here's a great movie. And then Marvel was like, yeah, just hold on to that because wait till you see this. I think this movie beats Suicide Squad. One, because domestically it's going to beat it because it's Marvel. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. It's Marvel, and it, like I said, it starts out as a kung fu movie, and then it turns into a Marvel movie, and then it turns into a fantasy-based. I don't know. There are just moments in the movie where I was sitting there going, bro, what? Some of the, and I know there's spoilers in this movie, or in this review, but I don't want to spoil too much, but the end of the movie, the effects, let's put it this way. Some of the effects, I was like, yo, that looks real. If this thing existed, without spoiling in that, that's what it would look like. It's like that. The emotional depth, again, I would love to see Wenwu, aka the Mandarin. I wish his connection was a little bit deeper, maybe, with Shang-Chi. But his motivation, overall, of his wife is just, it's gut-wrenching. And I don't know if this could be personal preference, guys, because I'm married. And because I'm married, I know I would go to crazy lengths to protect my wife, right? And so I just related to the character a lot. And that made a world of difference. Again, the guy with the blade on his hand, razor arm or whatever, you don't even really hear his name. There are some things that they didn't dive deep into. The guy with the mask, Death Dealer, I think his name is. You don't find out much about Death Dealer. Don't go into this movie thinking that you're going to get fleshed out side characters, because you're not. Because they took all of that, instead of trying to explain where Death Dealer came from and blah, 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 they took all of that time and they put it into the main villain in Wenwu. So you're learning about Katie and Shang-Chi and his sister. Then instead of wasting time on mid-level bad guys, they pour that time into their main villain. And you can just tell. I think the Mandarin is, man, Wenwu. For me, again, he's top 5 villains as well. I really think so. So who else would I put in that category? Obviously Thanos. I would say Wenwu. I would say Killmonger was pretty good. Who else was a good villain? I'm trying to think of. Ant-Man didn't really have great villains. I didn't really like the Guardians of the Galaxy villains in both movies. Captain America, I mean Shield and them are kind of the bad guys. Yeah. To me, if you look at I almost said Baxter Stockman from the Ninja Turtles. The villain, his name is totally escaping me. The villain from Civil War. We just saw him in Captain America. Golly, what is his name? Not Mordo. Anyway, take the cunningness, the smarts from him, and then take the fighting skill of Killmonger and put them together, and that's what you get in the Mandarin. I mean, Zemo. I couldn't think of Zemo for anything. Thanks, RL. Zemo. So Wenwu is just as smart, if not smarter, than Zemo. Even though he's not playing a lot of tricks or anything, but he's super intelligent. But I mean, the man can just flat out fight. I know I keep talking about the fights, but the fights are just so good. They're so good, man. And so, yeah, I would put Wenwu, Killmonger, Thanos. Who are other Marvel great villains? I don't know. That's kind of been their problem, right? But this guy does it. He does it. And he does it well. He does it very, very well. Other spoilers, again, I think that's about it, really. His suit, again, is made out of dragon scales. Like, there's just everything really just made a lot of sense. And again, at the same time, there's a lot of questions of where the rings actually came from. And it sounds like we're going to get the answer to that later on. Abomination. Why was he in the movie? I'm thinking RL's a big fan of the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. It looks like this movie is taking place at the same time as Spider-Man Far From Home. And the reason that I say that is Wong, and we saw it in the trailer, so this is not a spoiler, but we see Wong, fighting Abomination. It looks as if he's doing that while Spider-Man Far From Home. So we saw him with the bags, going somewhere. It looks like he's going to fight in this arena. And again, what did I think about the post-credit scene? I think it was great until Captain Marvel, because there's two. I would have personally, and let me clip this. When it comes to the post-credit scene, editing wise, I would have flipped these. And again, I'm not going to count this in my score because they probably had a reason for it. But I would have flipped them. I would have had the sister taking over as the first mid-credit scene, and then that final post-credit scene where they're analyzing the rings and trying to figure out what they are and what they do as the end post-credit scene. And I get it, because what they do is, the 10 rings will return. I get it. But the post-credit scene, Wong, can we talk about Wong? Wong he deserves to be featured like he did. He is played very well. He's a great character, and they've really revitalized that character. But Wong makes and saves the scene from Captain Marvel for sure. Saves the scene, because she could wreck it. She could have wrecked it, and that would have put a taste in the movie that just would have ruined things. Wrestling says Charlie stayed at your place last night. That's cool. Did he leave already? Let's talk about Awkwafina as Katie. I thought she was great. I believe she's like a singer. I've seen her before. Was she in Crazy Rich Asians? I think so. But as kind of a side love interest, it's not. What's cool about this movie is not Shang-Chi's love story. It's very much Wenwu's love story. And that's what's so cool about it. I mean, you guys, just go. You got to go see this movie. Stop what you're doing right now. Go see the movie if you feel comfortable in theaters. If you're going to wait the 45 days to see it on Disney Plus, I'm telling you, it's worth the time, because we had a little dip in Marvel and there was a little kink in the armor, and DC came out and threw a good right hook. Man, they threw a great right hook. Wrestling said she's married to Harry Styles. Oh, did not know that. But I like her. I think she's great. She's funny. And that's the other thing. This movie's not overly funny, but she's funny at the right times. I think she was funny at the right times for sure. Last two things is the rings. The rings, again, I think making them bracelets, again, was just an awesome, awesome idea. Getting away from the mystical jewelry. It was just a great idea. I like that they don't have separate powers. I like that they just do one thing. They're super powerful, and that's all you need. You know what I mean? That was really cool. And let's talk about the future. Where do I see this going? Obviously, Shang-Chi, they tell him he's going to be an adventure. And they should, because he's awesome. I mean, I don't understand how. Put it this way. He is the Liu Kang of the Marvel Universe. And I don't know, with him being who he is, I now don't know if we need Iron Fist. I don't know. You might make Iron Fist another TV show. Wrestling says, I'd love to do a podcast with you about WWE and AEW. Man, I got to catch up on my AEW first. We're getting there. The reason that I say I'm not sure if we need Iron Fist is because this movie kind of takes care of that. And not that there's... okay, first, Danny Rand is not an Asian character. RL says, what was Wong telling him about a beam shining? I don't remember that. Specifically, I know he was talking about there's something inside of the rings calling out to someone else. RL said, please don't bring back the actor who played Iron Fist. No, he just, you know what they should do? And I wasn't a big fan of this cartoon until later, but model Danny Rand after Ultimate Spider-Man. Make him kind of cool. You know what I mean? Make him young and hip. Make him a teenager. I think if you make Iron Fist a teenager, that makes, that could be really cool. But we don't want to see spoiled brat Danny Rand. Wrestling says you should review the Umbrella Academy. That's Resident Evil, right? Ooh-wee. So I don't know. It would have been cool if they would have showed us Kung Lan. Maybe we are, in a way. This Tao Lao, I think, is the place that we go to. Or else, you said the rings were calling someone. Yeah. I think they're calling someone else. It could be Galactus. I would like if it was a beacon that is actually calling out to something in Eternals, or if it's calling the Silver Surfer. Now, what do we do with Silver Surfer? I don't know. We'll get there when we when we get there, right? Wrestling says, no, it's a TV show. I thought Umbrella Academy. Isn't it Umbrella in Resident Evil? I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. The rings. Oh, the future. So yeah, I would like to see it call out to Silver Surfer. Phase 5, we get Galactus. Something like that. More Shang-Chi. Like, I'm ready for a sequel already. I really am. Again, could we see it backwards bring in Iron Fist? Probably. That would probably be the best way to do it. I hope they don't, though. I just don't think we need Iron Fist anymore. I don't think we need Iron Fist. The thing about Iron Fist is, like, he's martial arts, but he's got this powerful fist. And it's different. It's different because it's like the American who goes and has to learn about the culture and all of the stuff. Whereas Shang-Chi is really the opposite. Like, he's been brought up since he was like 12 to do this. And then he comes to America and he doesn't have a problem, like, being an American. You know what I mean? That story's kind of played out. His problem is family. And it just, I don't know. Again, I'm not of Asian descent at all, but I just related to the movie so much. Not because my father is like a crazy madman, but just like the importance of family and how it's very easy to, striving for your goals. It's very easy to kind of put your family aside. And so it's something that's always been conscious on my mind, even doing this streaming thing, that I don't want to push my family aside to do this. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just related to the movie a lot. Going forward, I think this needs a sequel for sure. Keep Captain Marvel away from it as much as possible. But love the cast all the way across the board. I know I talked a lot about Wenwu. Shang-Chi, acting was great. He threw it down. I would love to see him play something else. And if you guys know of any other movies that he's in, I want to see him. Mortal Kombat, go get this guy. Go get him, because I don't know who he would play at this point in time. But as much as I like Liu Kang in the Mortal Kombat movie, this should have been your Liu Kang. He's phenomenal as well. So Wrestling says, want to know what I'm going to do for my birthday? Absolutely. Let me know. What else? Kind of finishing up. The soundtrack. Crazy. Soundtrack is bananas. It's got, again, Asian inspired music, but then it flips to this, like, not Wu-Tang kind of hip hop, but just, man, it's just dope. I don't know how else to explain it to you guys. You can tell I'm gushing over this movie because it's cool. It's just a cool movie. I really, if I didn't have to work today, I would be back in the theater today to go see it again. It's an A+ movie. Wrestling says karaoke. Oh. Wrestling. I think you're going to like this movie. This is a spoiler review. They do some karaoke in this movie. And so that's a good point. That's a good way to tie it all together. Yeah, guys, go see this movie. I don't know what else to tell you. Just go see the movie. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. If you're like me, I grew up on action movies. So your Blades, your Rambos, your Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bloodsports, Steven Seagal movies. This movie is that, but it has some depth to it. And I didn't talk about the surprise cameo only because I want to give you guys something. But there's some surprises in there that I didn't mention that I think you're going to really enjoy. So that's my spoiler review, guys. Shout out to Wrestling God Streams, RL, DJ Crystal Clear. I mean, that's the core, right? You guys can support the stream. Now there is merch. If you want to get a Select Screen t-shirt, you can do that at linktr.ee/Select Screen. We're on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and the Cash App. You can also support monthly through the Streams Lab link. So if you'd like to give monthly, $5 every month, you can definitely do that. Appreciate you all so much. Be kind to one another. Be kind to one another. Be kind to one another. My name is Select Screen. Remember to choose your destiny. And I'm out.